What's up guys, James here with another Boot Wizard boot review, and today we're going to take a look at the last boot of the Adidas Predator 25-year icon pack, and it is the Takedown Predator 19.3 Laceless. You've probably seen the recently released Beckham Predator Precision remake, the Zidane Predator Accelerator remake, and then that mashup of the two, the Predator 19 Plus, which we do have a video on. I'll try and put a link up here somewhere. So these boots are all part of the Predator icon pack, and this boot completes the lineup at an £85 price point, which is significantly lower than you can get for any of the other boots in this range. Okay, so firstly and most importantly, these are a gold boot, so let's check out how they look. They come in the standard Adidas box instead of that white limited collection box you get the 19 Plus in. And then inside, no string bag, because obviously it is a takedown, but you do get the boots, like so. And then you also get the shoehorn as well, which is a nice touch if you want to use it. So for the boots themselves, so these are obviously a gold color with kind of it's like a two-tone gold effect that runs through the upper. It's actually very nice. I thought these were going to look super cheap when I saw the pictures of them. Something like kind of like this heel area, which doesn't look the best. But the actual main section of the upper looks really nice. And gold boots can look pretty cheap if they look too plasticky, but these are pretty good. Like I say, that slightly cheaper looking gold heel area with the Predator logo here and the Adidas logo pressed in there. The sole plate does look very similar to that of a regular Predator sole plate with the same stud layout. Obviously no chrome finish on this one because it's a takedown model. Blue stripes on the side. These do kind of lose any of the Beckham influence from the 19 Plus, which only really had the silver stripes to start with, but these ones have lost those, and it's all navy, gold and red, which is definitely more Zidane than Beckham in this one. That's it. We'll get a closer look at those later on in the video when they are on feet. Jumping into the tech specs, the first thing we're going to start with is the upper. So the upper on these is not a knit like you're going to find on the top end models, which has prime knit. This is a mesh based synthetic. It actually still feels pretty good. It's not a bad synthetic at all, and it's been covered by this gold coating here. Now this isn't control skin the same as on the 19 Plus, but it still feels good. The boot itself is quite soft. It's not solid. It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't feel plasticky. So when you're getting down to a 19.3 takedown model, I'd consider that pretty good. In terms of the upper, it doesn't really have much of a texturing or anything like that. It does even have less than that top end model, and I don't really think that does much. So this having even less, I wouldn't expect to feel it on the ball at all. And then coming round to the heel area here, it does lose that fin off the back, which I am delighted about because I'm still angry about it. It's a stupid design choice, but it does have this kind of gold section instead, which unfortunately on this I think looks a bit cheap. It doesn't really do a lot, and the heel counter on this one is just plastic and internal. Okay, onto the sole plate and stud pattern. If you are familiar at all with the current Predator range, you will recognize this. It looks exactly like the ones on the top end models. This isn't the control frame, even though it looks like it. It's just a standard plastic, although the stud pattern is exactly the same on this. In terms of the plastic, it is a little bit thinner than what you'll find with the control frame, and also it does have a similar level of flexibility and kind of sturdiness through this midfoot, but it's really uniform. There's no areas that are stiffer, there's no kind of extra support. It's just a really stiff plastic to here, and then a a less stiff plastic, so you get some flex in the forefoot. It's nothing spectacular, but you know what? Does the job, especially on a takedown model. I wouldn't be too angry at this. And then with the stud pattern, like I say, exactly the same as that on the top end Predators, so nothing to complain about there. You can use this on firm ground or on artificial ground, works well on both. However, like I say, I've said it in the other videos as well, the Predator stud pattern as a whole doesn't really excite me. I think it's solid, I think it does a job, it's not super aggressive, I think it's decent. So you get what's on the top model, but what's on the top model doesn't really excite me either. Okay, let's take a look at the inside. So let's see if we can get a peek inside the boot here. So you got the Predator 19.3 branding in there in gold, which is very nice. The inside of this mesh sock liner here is kind of, I suppose, reinforced a little bit, but that ends up looking quite cheap. And then importantly, I don't know if I can show you this. Yeah, just in there, there's that kind of mesh piece that just goes in there. So that mesh piece there, what that does is that reinforces this front sock area so it doesn't overstretch, which for a takedown model is really important because the prime knit is a little bit more advanced, it has a little bit more structure to it naturally, so this does really need that extra support there so that it doesn't overstretch on you. In terms of the actual liner itself, I can't take it out because it's glued in the forefoot, but not from the midfoot backwards, which seems like a strange choice, but it's fine. It's pretty cheap. It is the most basic of inners that you're going to find, but it'll do a job. In terms of the rest of the inside, it is a synthetic suede liner, which you don't always get on takedown models. It's quite nice. There's a reasonable amount of padding in the heel, so that's quite good as well. And then as you come through the boot, it does have a reasonable amount of material through here that feels nice, but it's not overly padded. So you're not going to get a super padded sensation from this, if that's what you're expecting. It is a little bit thinner. Okay, so it's a takedown, it's down to 19.3, it's an 85-pound boot instead of a 280-pound boot to get something in the icon pack. So you would think that this would be good value for money. I say maybe not. So generally, I don't think the Laceless 19.3 is good value for money anyway. That's because you can pick up the laced 19.3 for £10 less, and it is potentially a better boot. It's probably going to fit you better. Unless these boots fit you perfectly because of your foot shape, you can't adjust them. There's no laces. So on the whole, I don't think the Laceless 19.3 is a good value for money option. When you consider it in terms of it being part of the icon pack, if you really want something from the icon pack and you're on a budget, then this could be something to go for. But if you're looking to get a boot at roughly the £85 price point and you're not worried about it being part of the icon pack or being gold, I would steer clear of this. I don't think it's the best option at the price point, and there's even a better option just with laces. So I would stick to that and maybe stay clear of this, like I say, unless you really want something from the icon pack or you really want a Predator in gold and you're on a budget.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
Alright, let's get these on feet. So on feet, they fit pretty well. They don't overstretch, and they feel okay, especially for a takedown model. The internal heel counter here is pretty solid, but I don't feel particularly pushed into it. Honestly, the amount of heel slippage that I can feel in this is pretty bad. Like, I wouldn't want to go out and play in these simply because I feel like my heel is going to slip, it's going to go up, and it might cause some discomfort. Like, I might ending up with some blisters or something like that just from rubbing, from not having my heel flicked in. They're also pretty wide. Just in comparison to the 19 Plus, they're quite a wide boot. I wouldn't say they're designed for wide feet people, or you should definitely get them if you've got a wide foot, but if you have a particularly narrow foot, it's maybe something that you should consider before you buy these, that you're not maybe going to be particularly locked in. In terms of sizing, I have these in exactly the same size that I would normally buy my boots. So these are a UK 8, EU 42, US 9, and they fit me pretty much perfectly. In terms of looks, I think they look okay on feet. I like the kind of the silhouette of the general Predator look at the moment. The collar is slightly different on these than the top end models, but I still like the silhouette. But honestly, I'm not sure that I would be rocking a gold Takedown model anytime soon. Alright guys, that's everything from me here at Boot Wizard today. I hope you found it helpful. If you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button, and do remember to subscribe as well if you haven't already. Have a good day, and we will see you soon here at Boot Wizard.
We're sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.